Hi guys, welcome to Creative Crits. Today we're going around Denver FanX 2021. There's a lot of really cool booths here that have all sorts of D&D and tabletop RPG related content. I am so excited to show you. Come on. We're here with Ruby from Dryad Tea. I saw this when we were going through the booths and I had to come over and check it out.
When I started my tea company, we had these tea infusers, and you'd put the tea infuser with the tea in your cup and the whole thing would go in, and you'd spend 5 minutes cussing at your teacup. And I was like, that's no fun. Nobody wants to actually do that. And I'm a nerd. We're all nerds. It's a thing. And I was like, what about dice? So that's kind of how that happened.
As a DM, I really like having like something hot to drink with, because you're like trying to do all these voices. Do you mind telling me about some of your tea blends?
So I started Dryad Tea in 2012. We're inspired by music, mythology, works of literary art, and general geekery, which includes D&D. And when I initially started, it was because I sang with a band called Pandora Celtica. And we needed personal products so that we could afford to pay ourselves when we were on the road singing, because music only pays so much. And so I came up with the tea idea. Worked with a few D&D groups to make custom blends for either their characters or their campaign.
Yeah.
So that's been really, really neat.
So where are you located?
I'm in Aurora, Colorado.
Aurora, Colorado?
Yes, sir.
And do you have a website that people can go to?
It's dryadtea.com.
Thank you so much for being on our show. And thank you for tuning in to Creative Crits. We're here with Ben from Summit Dice, which I think is some of the coolest dice that I've ever seen. Can you tell me about some of these dice?
These dice are very close to jewelry when compared to standard dice that you get at a gaming store. Most people I know that have played D&D for a very long time have a special character or campaign that's been running a very long time. And you know, after a while you become very attached to them and you want something special for them. So I aim to get people all of the dice necessary to enhance their setting, their character, and the fairness of their rules.
How do you make these dice?
Well, it starts in a CAD program, and I take inspiration from a lot of sources. So whether it's Googling cathedral windows or looking through game art books, after the CAD process is finished, I go through and I balance each of the internal faces. So that creates a wax pattern, which looks exactly like the die. So after that, molten metal is pushed into that cavity using a high pressure system. It's allowed to cool, the plaster is blasted away, the sprues are chopped off, things are polished up, and you've got yourself some dice.
Every single one of these dice looks really unique. I've never seen dice like them. This one I really love because of how sharp the angles are. These are so cool. Thank you so much for spending the time doing this quick little interview. Thank you for tuning in to Creative Crits. Today we're here with Kelsey at Robin's Nerd Supplies. Can you tell me a little bit about your dice and all the cool stuff you have here?
Yeah, definitely. I started designing dice back in 2019, mainly because I learned Arabic and discovered that there are no Arabic dice, well, at least on the market at the time. So since then, being a normal dice goblin, ended up adding a couple more languages, kanji, Thai, and 4 more lines since then, because you can never have enough dice, right?
You have some really cool pirate dice that I saw just a moment ago. Can you tell me about those?
Yes, so we got the Pirate Ship Revenge. Everything's named after Pirate Ship Revenge because they got cross-blade swords. So we got binnacle, mizzen, jib, forecastle. I'm probably mispronouncing some of them.
These oversized dice that you have here, do you mind telling me a little bit about these dice?
Those have tiny little teddy bears in them. Most of our sets, minus like the Revenge or the language ones, are actually named after different characters that myself or some of my parties played. That one's named after a druid who was min-maxed, but still died in less than 1 session of Tomb of Annihilation, named Bear Bear, and so we made a whole line of them in memoriam.
If anyone wants to find you, can they find you online?
Yeah, Robin's Nerd Supplies. We also have a Kickstarter going on for expansions for some of our language sets. Those ones you're just going to look for Robin's Nerd Supplies on Kickstarter or language dice.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching Creative Crits. totally not D&D related, but I have a thing about having lightsabers, and I've always wanted one of these lightsabers, but I've never gotten myself one. So that might be the non-D&D related thing that I get myself during the show. We're here with Red from Abraxas Games, and he's going to tell us about some metal dice of their design.
Yeah, we've been in business for quite a while. We busted into the dice market about 5 years ago, and we decided that we were tired with seeing a lot of expensive metal dice on the market that weren't available to geeks, because all geeks need a badass set of metal dice. So we came up with our own designs. The numbers we chose were specifically set for individuals with dyslexia to help with that. And we did custom color schemes with all of those.
You're not just dice makers, you're also game designers. And you have a game that came out recently, right?
Correct, yeah. October of 2020, we had Sea of War came out. It is a basic tactical card game. So I love tactical card games, but they take a day to learn, weekend to play. I wanted something that's quick and easy. So this is 3 sets of rules for beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Basic premise, you all have a fleet of ships and we're trying to sink each other. We have another game getting ready to drop in Kickstarter as well. It's called House of Joust, and that one you're knights jousting.
How did Abraxas Games come to be?
We started off back a while ago. We have been geeks all of our lives, and there was never safe places for us to be geeky. So we decided to establish what our original company was, Lair of Abraxas, and we had 2 stores that were actually brick and mortar bar and lounge, just a safe place for geeks. COVID unfortunately put down the stores, but we keep going. We're still on conventions and online, so we're still allowed, but we rose up as Abraxas Games to kind of focus on the dice and the game side of it.
Where can people find you now?
So now we're on abraxasgames.com.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in to Creative Crits, and I'm so glad to have you guys on the channel. Today we're at Wyrmwood with Justin. Justin's going to tell us about some dice boxes and a bunch of other really cool goodies that Wyrmwood has. If you don't know about Wyrmwood, what rock have you been living under? Because they have really amazing stuff. So tell me about these dice boxes, man.
Absolutely. So we have 2 different kinds of dice boxes. The first one, which is our main model that everyone really knows and loves, is just a standard, holds a standard 10 set of dice, and it has a magnetic enclosure. We offer a bunch of different kinds of woods here, as you can see. Domestic ones, exotic ones, Paduke, Black Poison Wood, Bolivian Rosewood, Spalted Timber, Purple Heart, and this is Macassar Ebony. The other version of our dice box that we have is the Master Vault, which is a little bit bigger. These will hold either 3 sets of standard dice, or it'll hold a set of dice, a pencil, and some minis. You can kind of configure it however you want. We are from Massachusetts, Taunton, Massachusetts to be exact, and all of our products are made by hand by people you see here. A lot of people know dice towers, but ours work a little differently. As you can see, I have a side cut of 1. They're completely disassembled, so each piece comes out magnetically, snapped together. They're really strong, and they're designed to flat pack into our complete system. So we have our personal tray right here. Now you have it all together for storage. So the Prophecy is our flagship model of gaming table. With this crank wheel, the play surface is adjustable. So right now it's 3 inches below, as most gaming tables you see are, and it can be adjusted height. So as soon as I start cranking this up, the whole play surface goes up to either flush like that, you can stop it there,
Wonderful.
or you can keep going as well to about 1.5 inches above flush as well. Then not only does that give you like a really nice surface for like card games, you can slide them into your hand easily, but these panels come right off actually.
Oh,
if you
wow.
need to clean them for any reason, it's really easy to do that. Oh, and all 3 of them are reversible as well. So all 3 of those panels have hardwood on one side, micro suede on the other. Our accessories are magnetic. So there's a rail that runs all the way around the outside edge of the table, and they go anywhere outside the table as well as inside the table. So if you also want to use this for a dining room table or dinner table, we have toppers as well. You can have your whole game set up inside the table, have dinner on top. If anything gets spilled, you don't have to worry about your game or anything getting ruined underneath.
It's like the secret gaming area.
Right.
Where can they find you online if they want to look you up?
So we're at wyrmwoodgaming.com. We have pretty much everything that we sell at the convention on our website as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and I think that is the tour of the Wyrmwood booth here at FanX. We're here with Will from Misty Mountain Gaming.
That's right.
And we have all sorts of dice sets to talk about.
Oh, we got a lot of metal.
What are these metal dice sets? Tell me about them.
Our metal dice sets are made out of a zinc alloy with a custom enamel coating on them, so it helps keep them safe, durable. Plus, they look nice. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I love the clonk of the metal dice.
Oh, yeah.
There's something special about that. The only downside is I have some dents in my rolling tray from
Yeah,
them,
we don't recommend going out there in Vegas rolling them on your wood and glass tables because it's usually going to make for a bad time.
Absolutely.
So the main thing that we like to show is our Nordic fonts, and then we have our prism glass.
I love the prism glass. I don't know if the cameras can pick this up, but how the light hits it, it shines in all sorts of different colors. It's definitely something that like cameras can't really get how cool that is. I've always wanted a full metal D100. Like the whole thing with like rolling 2 dice for the D100. I get it's understandable, but there's something special about having the one.
About have a 1 pound metal dice that you can sit there and just roll and thunk on the table.
For sure. These are giant, really huge, heavy dice.
Yeah.
What is your website?
MistyMountainGaming.com.
MistyMountainGaming.com.
That's it.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm so glad to do this quick little interview with you.
Man, thank you for having us.
For sure.